I'm Sophia Chen, 28. And the night of that family dinner, I finally understood who they really were. We sat in our Boston penthouse, old money vibes everywhere, but I wasn't playing their social games anymore. My tech company consumed my world. I was building something real, something that mattered. To them, just another failed hobby, a phase I should have abandoned. I showed up in casual clothes. Everyone else dripped in luxury brands and fake smiles. You could cut the tension with a knife. Then Mom struck first. "Sophia, we're cutting you off," she said. Her words felt like ice. "Find your own money." Dad backed her up instantly. Cold eyes. Like I was some burden he regretted carrying. My sister jumped in next, laughing, mocking, telling me I'd never reach her level. They thought they'd won. Put me in my place finally. My phone vibrated. A notification that would destroy everything they believed. They had zero clue what I controlled. None whatsoever. If you think their smugness survived the night, keep watching. Their confidence won't last much longer. Want to see how I flipped their entire world? Hit subscribe and turn on notifications. This gets wild. The first course arrived. Mom's voice went arctic. "Sophia, that tech thing you're doing? Total waste." She sliced through conversation like a blade. Her stare burned with disappointment. Like my ambition personally offended her. She leaned back, diamonds catching chandelier light. "You're pushing 30. When's the real job coming?" Her question hung there, heavy, judgmental. Dad joined immediately, set down his wine, expression hard as stone. "Your sister closes deals worth millions," he said, nodding toward Riley, who smirked from across the table. "That's real success, not some app nobody uses." His words cut deep, but I kept my face blank, hands folded. I wouldn't give them satisfaction. Riley couldn't resist her moment. Flipped her hair, gold jewelry flashing. "Just landed that waterfront development," she bragged, dripping with pride. "7 figures, Sophia. Money you'll never touch with your little projects." She laughed, sharp, cruel, made my stomach turn. "Still begging us for rent money, right? Always broke." Mom nodded along, lips tight with disapproval. "We've been too easy on you," she said, folding her napkin with dramatic precision. "Riley's correct. This dependency ends now." The accusation landed hard, but I didn't react. I'd survived this script before. Every holiday, every gathering, same tired attacks. They saw me as the weak one, the disappointment, someone who'd never match their polished lifestyle. Dad leaned in closer, voice dropping low. "Time to grow up, Sophia. We're done catching you. Figure out real work." He spoke like he'd built everything himself, ignoring the inheritance that funded their mansion, their cars, their entire existence. The irony wasn't lost on me. But I stayed silent, let their words wash over me. Riley wasn't finished. Sipped her wine, eyes gleaming with amusement. "Maybe follow my path," she suggested. "Get licensed. Start at the bottom. Actually help this family." Her tone was so condescending, like talking to a child. "You're not built for startups. It's honestly embarrassing." I clenched my jaw, fingers gripping my chair edge. Their insults weren't new, but tonight they stung differently. Each comment reminded me how worthless they thought I was. A dreamer, a failure, a burden. But I wasn't here for approval. Wasn't here to defend myself. My phone pressed against my leg, a quiet reminder of what came next. They thought they held power, that their money controlled my destiny. The room buzzed with their arrogance. Mom's sharp looks, Dad's condescending voice, Riley's mocking tone. So sure of themselves, so convinced they'd won. I let them talk, let them dig deeper with every insult. They had no idea I was about to shatter their reality. Everyone raised glasses. Toast time. My phone lit up. A text message. Victoria Lynn. the trust administrator. Her message was short, direct. Approve monthly payments, Edward, Diana, Riley Chen, $20,000 each. I slid the phone away. Heart pounding. Their cruel words still echoed. Their smug confidence still burned. They thought they'd broken me. But the truth was about to crush them. I caught Ava's eye across the room. My best friend and business partner. She knew everything. She'd survived every all-nighter, every rejection, every doubt with me. I nodded slightly. She excused herself, joined me near the window. They're about to learn something, she whispered, voice tingling with anticipation. They don't know you're in charge. I leaned closer, tone even. They've survived on my decisions for years, I said, glancing at Mom, Dad, Riley laughing with their elite friends. Time they figured that out. The doors opened. Victoria Lynn entered, heels clicking sharply, leather portfolio in hand, professional, all business, here to drop a bomb. Conversation died. Guests sensed the shift. Mom's smile cracked, eyes narrowing at the interruption. Dad set down his glass, jaw tensing. Riley froze mid-sentence, staring at this stranger. Miss Chen, Victoria said. Her voice carried across the room, addressing me directly. I need your signature for trust distributions. She opened the portfolio, documents visible, official seals stamped on every page. Every single head turned toward me, confusion spreading like wildfire. Dad laughed, loud, dismissive. This is absurd, he boomed. Sophia managing the trust? She can't even manage her own rent. Mom's voice tightened. You're mistaken, Victoria. Our daughter doesn't control anything. She barely controls her own life. Riley crossed her arms, smirking. What is this? A joke? Her tone dripped mockery. Sophia running our money? She's a nobody. Victoria didn't blink, slid a document forward, pointed to highlighted text. Miss Sophia Chen has been sole trustee of the $20 million Chen Family Trust since age 25, she stated. Clear, unshakable. She oversees all assets. Your home, vehicles, monthly allowances of $20,000 per person. Nothing releases without her approval. The room stopped breathing. Dad's face drained of color, confidence evaporating. Mom's hand flew to her necklace, eyes wide with shock. Riley's smirk vanished, glass trembling in her grip. Victoria closed her folder, gave me a brief nod, turned to leave. Awaiting your instructions, Miss Chen, she said, heels echoing as she exited. Silence crashed down, deafening. Their stunned faces locked on me. I stood, voice steady, sharp. For 3 years, I've signed every check you've spent, I said, meeting each pair of eyes. Your cars, your trips, Riley's developments, all of it depends on me. I paused. Let it sink in. You thought you ran things. But it's always been me. Their world started crumbling, and I was just beginning. Dessert plates arrived. My phone buzzed again. I pulled it out, ignored the fake conversation around me. Screen, showing a message from Marcus Blake. Bank manager handling trust transactions. Confirm. Freeze all Chen family distributions. My fingers hovered over the screen, pulse steady despite the wait. They'd spent years treating me like trash. Now they'd learn the cost. I stepped away. Dialed Marcus quietly. Freeze everything, I said, tone calm, firm. No payments for Edward, Diana, or Riley Chen. Starting now. Marcus responded immediately. Professional. Understood, Miss Chen. It's done. I hung up. Returned to my seat, face revealing nothing. Riley noticed first. Frowned at her phone. Manicured nails tapping frantically. What? She muttered, voice rising. My card's not working. She tried again, cheeks flushing as the error repeated. This is impossible. It worked this morning. Her eyes darted to me. Suspicion creeping in. I sipped water, unbothered. Dad's fork paused midair. "What's happening, Riley?" Sharp, irritated. She shoved her phone toward him, voice shaking. "My accounts are frozen, and my development deal, the waterfront project, it's collapsing. They're saying funds didn't transfer." Her words accelerated, panic lacing every syllable, scrolling through angry emails from business partners. Mom's hand shot to her chest, bracelet jangling. "This must be wrong," she said, eyes bouncing between Riley and me. "Our accounts are always fine. Always." But her voice wavered, doubt seeping in. She grabbed Dad's arm. "Edward, what about the house? The taxes? The mortgage? Are we safe?" Her question hung heavy. Terrified, I leaned back, voice calm. "The penthouse belongs to the trust," I said, looking at each of them. "And I control the trust. Without my approval, there's no money for taxes, nothing for anything." Dad's face went white, confidence shattered. "That's insane," he stammered, voice lacking conviction. "We don't need your permission for our own lives." Riley jumped in, desperate. "You're lying," she said, eyes wild. "You can't cut us off. We have our own money, our own deals." But her shaking hands told the truth, clutching her phone like a lifeline. Mom's voice cracked, trying to reason. "Sophia, be reasonable. We've always been there for you. This is just a misunderstanding." Her words were empty, a pathetic attempt to rewrite years of contempt. I shook my head, expression ice cold. "For 3 years, I've approved every dollar that funded your lifestyle," I said, voice cutting through their panic. "You thought you controlled me, but I've been controlling you." The truth hit like a wrecking ball, silencing all excuses. Riley's phone buzzed. Email from her biggest client. Contract cancellation. She gasped, face crumpling, her empire collapsing in real time. Dad tried recovering, voice rising. "We don't need your handouts," he said, but his clenched fists betrayed him. "We've done fine without you." I raised an eyebrow. Let the silence stretch. They could pretend, but reality was crushing them. Their lifestyle, their power, their entire existence, all depended on me. Mom's eyes glistened, composure shattering. "Sophia, you can't destroy us," she whispered, barely audible. But I didn't flinch. Their panic filled the room, confidence shattered, and I felt nothing but cold certainty. They'd made their choice when they dismissed me, mocked me, tried breaking me. Now they faced the consequences. The dining room went silent, my earlier words still settling like dust. My phone pinged. New email. I glanced down, breath catching. The sender, a venture investor I'd pitched months ago. Subject line: "Concerns regarding your company's legitimacy." Blood boiled as I read. Riley had spread poison, told investors my startup was fake, a con, a desperate money grab. Her sabotage had killed a crucial funding round, nearly destroyed my company before it could survive. I looked up, eyes locking on Riley. "You told investors my company was a scam," I said, voice low, dangerous. Her face went pale, mouth opening to deny it, but I held up my phone, the email glowing like courtroom evidence. "This is from one of them. They heard it directly from you." Guest whispers faded. "All eyes on us," Riley stammered, hands shaking. "That's not true," she snapped, but her voice cracked, guilt bleeding through. Mom's eyes shifted between us, face mixing guilt and defiance. "Sophia, Riley was protecting our family name," she said, voice trembling but firm. "Your startup, it's unstable. She was helping us." Dad nodded, jaw tight. "She didn't mean harm," he said, tone softer, almost pleading. "She was keeping our reputation clean. You know how people talk." Their words hit like betrayal squared. They knew what Riley did, tried destroying my dream, and still defended her. Riley seized the opening, voice desperate but defiant. "I had to, Sophia. she said, eyes wild. Your app was embarrassing, dragging us down. I was saving the family. Her excuse was pathetic. Panic clear as she gripped her phone. Her empire crumbling by the second. The room felt suffocating. Air thick with collective betrayal. I set my phone down, gaze cold, steady. You all knew, I said, voice cutting through everything. You knew. Riley lied, tried destroying my work. And you're still protecting her. Mom's hand clutched her necklace, eyes glistening. But she didn't deny it. Dad looked away, his silence screaming volumes. Riley's shoulders slumped. Bravado fading under exposure. You thought you could destroy me, I said, standing taller, voice unwavering. But for 3 years, I've funded everything. Your cars, your vacations, Riley's deals. You all betrayed me. And I'm done. I let the word hang. Heavy, undeniable. No more allowances, no more trust fund, not a single cent. Mom gasped, hands covering her mouth. Dad's face crumpled, authority vanishing. Riley's phone slipped from her hand, hit the table with a dull thud. Their world was collapsing, and I felt no sympathy. They'd chosen Riley's lies over me, protected her sabotage while crushing my dreams. Their loyalty wasn't to family. It was to status, comfort, appearances. Now they'd face what that choice cost them, and I'd walk away stronger than ever. As the party died down, I stood, ready to leave. The dining room felt heavy. Forced laughter replaced by suffocating stillness. Mom, Dad. Riley sat frozen, faces showing shock and defeat. I was done with apologies, excuses, their pathetic attempts to rewrite history. Time for my final play. To show them I didn't need their approval or their world to win. I straightened, voice ringing clear. The $20 million trust is mine to manage, I said, locking eyes with each one. And I'm redirecting every dollar into my startup. My tech company, the one you called worthless, is my future. You get nothing. Not now. Not ever. My words cut clean, sharp, final. Mom gasped, hand clutching her chest. But I didn't waver. This wasn't revenge. This was justice. Dad's voice broke the quiet. Low, strained. Sophia, the penthouse, he said, eyes pleading. If you don't release funds, we can't pay taxes. They'll take it. His admission was raw. The Boston penthouse, their status symbol now a burden they couldn't carry. I met his gaze. Unflinching. That's your problem now, I said. You made your choice when you dismissed me. Riley's head snapped up, eyes wild with panic. You're destroying me, she said, voice breaking. My clients are gone. My deals are dead. I'm finished without my reputation. Her hands shook, gripping her phone like it could save her. The woman who'd built her career on multi-million-dollar developments was unraveling, her lavish life slipping away. I felt nothing for her. She tried sabotaging my startup. Now her world collapsed under her own actions. Mom's voice trembled, barely a whisper. Sophia, we're your family, she said, eyes searching mine for mercy. You can't abandon us. But her words meant nothing. They'd abandoned me first. With mockery, favoritism, betrayal, I shook my head. Resolve unshaken. Family doesn't destroy each other, I said. Family doesn't spread lies to investors. You did that. Not me. I stepped toward the door. Voice steady. I don't need you to succeed, I said, words carrying years of weight. I've built my company from nothing. With my own work, my own vision. The trust fund is just a tool, one I'll use to prove you wrong. My startup wasn't a dream anymore. It was reality. Proof I could stand alone. I didn't need their validation, their money, their name. The guests sat silent, eyes darting between us. Dad sat motionless, hands folded, staring at the table like it held impossible answers. Mom's shoulders slumped, face etched with resignation. Riley's fingers hovered over her phone. But no message could undo this damage. They'd underestimated me, thought they could control me. Now they saw the truth. Their world had always rested on my shoulders. I turned to leave. Steps deliberate. "You thought you could break me," I said, pausing at the door. "But I'm the one who's been holding you up. And I'm done." Their silence spoke everything. Stark contrast to the laughter and scorn from hours ago. They'd lost it all. Wealth, status, power, because they chose betrayal over belief. As I walked out, Boston's skyline glowed through the windows, a reminder of the city where I'd forge my own path. I didn't look back. They'd face the consequences. Tax notices piling up, clients abandoning them, their carefully built lives falling apart. I was free, ready to build something bigger than their narrow world, powered by my own strength. And the trust fund I controlled. 6 months later, I stood in my new startup headquarters, Boston's skyline lighting up the windows. The sleek space hummed with energy. Screens glowing, team members collaborating, my app's logo displayed on massive monitors. My tech startup had exploded. Rising star in Boston's competitive scene, articles in major publications calling it transformative. The $20 million trust fund, once their lifeline for excess, now fueled a company that was mine, built from midnight work sessions, tough decisions, and a vision they'd ridiculed. My heart swelled, not just from success, but from proving them wrong. Meanwhile, Mom and Dad's world had shrunk dramatically. Without trust support, they couldn't cover property taxes on the penthouse. They'd sold at a loss, trading their skyline view for a cramped apartment in the suburbs. I'd heard through mutual connections they now lived modestly, scraping by on Dad's failing investments and Mom's part-time consulting work. Private jets and gala dinners became memories, replaced by budget shopping and second-hand furniture. Riley's fall was even steeper. Her glamorous real estate career had imploded after her biggest clients fled. Spooked by frozen accounts and canceled deals, reputation destroyed, she'd taken a desk job at a tiny property management company, pushing papers for a fraction of her old income. Designer bags and exclusive events vanished, her social status reduced to whispered gossip at industry gatherings. She'd tried calling once, left a voicemail I deleted without listening. Her betrayal spreading lies about my startup still cut too deep. Ava stood beside me through everything. My best friend and co-founder. She'd been there for every pitch, every setback, every victory. Reviewing our latest growth data, she grinned, eyes sparkling with excitement. "We did this, Sophia," she said, voice warm. "Not them, not the trust. You and me." I nodded, grateful for her unwavering support. Our startup wasn't just surviving, it was dominating. New investors lining up, users downloading by the thousands. Ava's belief in me had been my foundation when my family tried tearing me down. Looking out at the city, I thought about the lesson I'd learned, one I wanted to share. Never underestimate someone. They might control your future. My family thought they could dominate me, dismiss my dreams, even sabotage my work, but they were wrong. Self-reliance was my path to real success. Not their money, not their approval, my own determination and vision. I'd built something lasting, something they could never steal, because I'd bet on myself when nobody else would. Their downfall wasn't my fault, but it was their consequence. Mom and Dad's arrogance, Riley's betrayal. They'd caused this themselves. They saw me as a failure, a dreamer who'd never measure up, but I'd turned their doubt into rocket fuel. The trust fund, once their crutch, now my tool to reshape the future. I didn't need their validation to know I'd won. To everyone following this story, thank you for listening. Your support means everything. I hope my journey resonates. Never let anyone make you feel small. Your strength is enough to build your own path. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Tell me about a time you proved someone wrong, or a dream you're chasing. If you've enjoyed this story, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more. Here's to building our own futures. No matter who doubts us,